to own it. Just wanted to take the time, learn all the things that I could about you. Now it's such a mess here. Oh, we are just stressed here. Used to be so easy with you.
Anywhere.
Thanks for coming on my show today.
Thank you for having me.
What have we got here? This is like some cool stuff. What's this?
That is a skateboard for my brand Neighborhood Watch. That was actually the most recent graphic that released. It was part of the artist, his name was Crackles. He's from somewhere back in Europe.
I like
yeah,
that.
back
Crackles.
in Europe. But yeah, Crackles, he's a really good artist.
How do you collaborate with these? Where do you find them?
Instagram, like in the the activity page, you'll see like a lot of like different art posts and stuff like that. And some artists, they're very like, I don't want to work with other people, but a lot of up and coming artists, they're like, oh, okay, for sure. Like, you got a clothing brand going on, like skate brand, so they're definitely inclined to like help out a little bit.
How'd you get into this?
So I've always liked clothing since I was a kid, but like I always just into dressing nice, I guess you could say. But there came a point where like I was just spending way too much money on clothes, and I was like, well, if I have all these ideas for clothes, like I might as well just start making them myself.
Because you were doing the name brands and all that stuff, huh?
Supreme, all that fun stuff. It was just getting to be too much.
Wow.
Yeah.
So then you're like, okay, I'll make. So it was like a hobby. It's like I'll make my clothes for me to wear.
Yeah, no, exactly. So like I went out, I bought a screen printing kit, and then that was it. From there, I started printing shirts for just like a couple of my friends, and then word kind of spread out a little bit, and now I'm international, I guess.
And this is beyond screen printing.
Yeah.
I had a screen print machine too, and that was I already know how much work that is.
Yeah, screen printing is a fun one for sure.
Okay, so this is quality though. It's like I didn't even expect this when I saw it online. I thought it looked really neat, but this quality, I wish I could convey to everybody. Like this is really nice. Can I take this? Like
yeah, of course.
I don't want to ruin anything.
No,
but this
you're
is
good.
like
If that
this is
fits
like
you, you
some
can keep
J.
it.
Crew like stuff. I mean, this is like what I mean. This is as far as like the like wow.
And it glows in the dark. Have you ever seen a knit sweater that glows in the dark?
No, are you serious? I
in the
love
dark.
things that glow. Oh my, so you can wear this at a rave.
Yeah, for sure.
For
sure. The black lights will charge that thing up real quick.
Oh my goodness, that is so badass. Okay.
Yeah, no, that thing's sick.
So how did you get from like I have a silk screen at my house to this point? Like this is beyond.
Well, so I started making like I just got tired of just like printing T-shirts. I was like, all right, well, I gotta move on to something else.
This is what you're wearing.
Oh yeah, I'm wearing it right now.
This is totally rave material. It's like okay.
It's perfect, and it's like a light knit too, so it's good for like summer and winter. It's like perfect layering piece.
Not summer here, but
yeah, yeah, summer elsewhere.
No, it's for fall and winter.
Fresno, freaking no.
Okay, so you got with this guy. This is a different guy than the skateboard guy. It's a different.
So that is actually an original graphic. That one was all me. Yeah. So.
And here you said you were good at drawing.
Digital drawing. I could do digital. I can't hand draw like
that
on
makes
paper.
Sense.
Traditional art. Yeah. But yeah. So this is actually I call it the World Eater. Originally there was a globe behind it, so it was like it looked like it was eating the world, and I chose that because I wanted to go like on an international takeover, and I wanted my brand to be bigger than just local Fresno.
So because I thought at first, okay, I thought this is like binoculars. Then I thought it could be like a happy face. Because and then I see the world kind of in there. I see like kind of like almost New York, but probably something better with like an ocean and whatever. So what is it? What is your take on it?
So it is a guy with binoculars. It's got kind of like an evil Cheshire cat grin.
Okay, so I'm on the right path. Okay.
Yep, you're there for sure. And then honestly, I want to say I used a silhouette for Fresno when I originally created this, but knit, it doesn't look like Fresno, I guess.
Well, because this kind of looks like a body of water. That's why I was kind of thinking in New York, where it could be like there's a city behind it with a body of water. But that's really cool.
Thank you. Yeah, these ones were actually really fun to make. I didn't think that the manufacturer could actually pull off a knit sweater that glows. And
yeah, because the quality is just so. This is just crazy. We don't really go over prices on this show, but what's like the ballpark figure for a lot of your items?
I try to keep everything, so I have a price point for everything. So I have basic entry-level tees. Those are going to be around like $10 to $15.
Okay, so you have something for everybody.
Yeah, exactly. And then I have my production tees. Those are going to be usually like 6 to 12 color screen prints. Those ones are usually around 30 to 35. And then hoodies, depending on if it's embroidered or screen printed, those range anywhere from 60 up to 120.
That's not bad. This is like so. I mean, this is okay. So how do you wash this if it's glow in the dark?
Honestly, you just wash it normal. I mean,
Really?
you can wash it on cold and air dry it, but I treat all my clothes really bad to make sure that they can go out to people that aren't going to care.
That's actually smart.
Yeah,
You know
like,
what I mean? That's
you
actually a
got
good.
it.
That's a good plug. Okay, so what about these? What kind of pants do we got here? Are
Oh, we
these
got-
pants or these shirts?
Pants.
Okay. Wow.
Some corduroy pants, my favorite material to deal with.
That is cool because it's making its comeback.
It is, for sure.
I like corduroy. I've always been into
It's always been super comfortable, I feel like.
Oh, these are super cute. So are these for like men or women? What's the deal? with
Everything's unisex. I try to make everything unisex.
them? I like it.
Yeah, I try to keep every outfit to where like you could see like a skater girl in it or like a skater dude in it, and it's not like, oh, that's weird. Like I want everything to look just uniform, cool.
Well, people like wearing each other's clothes. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
no, for
people
sure.
want to wear their boyfriend's clothes, and then if a guy has a girl, they can wear their clothes. That's even cool too. So I
Yeah.
like that. That's actually really smart.
Oh, yeah, especially because like I try to pick like colors. Like obviously some guys do like pink, but like the pink is also going to attract girls as well. And then same with like the sage green. Like I feel like it's just like a very good unisex color, you know?
So how did you become international? How do people like find out about you everywhere?
Social media is a very crazy thing. Like I started off, like I just created a brand new Instagram when I started all this, and I would say within the first year it was already up to like 1,200 followers, and like it surpassed like my personal. And then once it surpassed my personal, I was like, oh, maybe I'm onto something, or maybe a little bit, you know?
So you weren't really trying to do much to plug it. You really, it was just pure social media?
Yeah, it was all social media. Originally it was through Twitter, but Twitter in the past few years has kind of like died out unless you're like a
Right.
traditional artist. Like clothing's just very oversaturated on there. But on Instagram, since you're able to actually convey like photos and stuff like that, people are a lot more intrigued and interested to like engage and stuff.
And I love what you're wearing. I'm assuming that you made that as well.
I did
the
wear
over.
this,
I mean,
yep.
my name is Sparkle. I gotta love this. So
This one is super sick. This is actually my newest jacket that I just released.
and even the zipper is so cool. We got
Custom
little stars.
zipper
So
logo.
this is like that should be like my store because it has like the stars and the sparkly and it's like everything with me. Like
I can get you one when they come in. These are coming in soon. This one's just a sample, but the hoodie actually zips all the way up, and then it has the World Eater on the face.
and I would actually wear that because I get really freaking cold. So I would be the person
perfect.
that has the whole.
Park set up real quick. Yeah, no, it's super comfy too. And then this one's actually a sample, so it
So
doesn't.
you're the only one in the world that has it.
Right now, yeah. Yeah. So manufacturing on these is actually supposed to start at the end of the week, and then they're gonna line the interior with satin to make it a little bit nicer.
Oh my goodness. So what's it like now? I mean, because you're young, you're like entrepreneurial. Do you have to like throw out a lot of bucks to keep this going, or is it kind of like funding itself now that you've sold enough stuff?
So now it's funding itself, but originally, like I was working at a restaurant, and like every paycheck I had was going
Right.
towards like new drops, new gear, new samples, and
Wow.
like that's the thing too that's really expensive is like sampling, because like retail, this hoodie is only dropping for 120, but I sampled it for $300.
Yeah,
So, like,
because
yeah.
it's the first. When it's the first one, you have to put more into it than when you're making them in bulk. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So that's kind of the hard part, I guess. There, not too crazy though.
That's really awesome. Wow. So how many years has this been going on now?
I think I'm at 5 now. I think it's been 5 years now that you bring it up, because I don't try to think about it too often because like time has just flown by since then. But I think it has been 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So where do we go to purchase these items?
I have my own website, nbrhoodwatch.com, and then I also have my Instagram. My Instagram has a shop connected to it as well, so you can purchase stuff directly through Instagram. And then the Instagram's gonna be Neighborhood Watch too, NBR Hood Watch.
Wow. And just Instagram, not really Facebook. Instagram and the website.
Yeah, I've tried to get in the Facebook like marketing scene, but it's hard to gauge. Like it's hard to gauge audiences versus like Instagram. It kind of tapers it towards the people that are already kind of interested in you. But TikTok's actually another one that's like really good. Like TikTok has been, it blows things up. It's crazy.
This is so cool. And so who would you like to see? If you could have anybody in the world kind of model your stuff, or if you saw it on them, you'd be like, wow, I made it. Who would you like to see wearing your stuff?
Oh, shoot. There's a lot of big people. I would love to see an upcoming rapper named Baby Tron in my clothes. I feel like it fits his style very well. I would love to see a rapper. Her name's Coily Ray. She's really, I love her style. It's just great. I would love to send her something. And then there's a couple local homies that I like getting stuff to. This guy named Kapow and a guy named Dan. So those are my local, I guess, OGs, I would say.
That is so cool. And so we could just buy it. How long does it take to get to us if like you're not in Fresno, or if you are in Fresno, like how does that work?
So if you're in Fresno, the post office here is pretty quick. You'll probably get it within 1 to 3 days. And then if you're somewhere like in a different state or something like that, I would say closer 5 to 7. The biggest thing though is sometimes I have pre-order items and I have like ready stocked items. So on the pre-order items, it's usually like a month wait, but you can always order it when they're in hand, so then you don't have to wait as well.
Are you ever thinking of going storefront maybe, or selling it at any of the local places here?
I do have a few places that are asking about putting my clothes in there. I just need to pull the trigger. I don't know if I could talk about it yet. But
Okay, but
yeah.
no, I just kind of wanted to know if it was like something that you were thinking about.
No, yeah, that's definitely in the ballpark of something I want to do for sure. Because I know there's a few local skate shops that I want to get into, one in particular. And then the guy that owns Thrift Demon, actually just down the street, he wants my clothes in there too. He's been a really big supporter since I started.
That is so cool to get like so much local support. And then after here, maybe you can go other places to get it in their stores.
Right, that'd be the ideal goal for sure.
Does if somebody wanted a specific design or you to do something, do you custom make stuff for people as well?
Oh, of course, yeah, all the time. Like if someone wants like a specific T-shirt with like this graphic on it, as long as that graphic's still in production, for sure. No questions, like no asks. Like I'll do it for sure.
So this is the green version of this one. It's pretty much
Yes.
the same, just reverse, the same color, reverse. You said it could be for guys or girls. So when you do this sizing, what should we get?
So I always go down to extra small, and then I always go up to a XL to double XL for bottoms specifically. And then, so usually women are, I would say, in the extra small to medium range. And then men are usually probably like the medium to like extra large double XL range. And
Okay,
then
so just go, small if you're a girl, go on a smaller size.
And then I always have size charts on my website too, just to make
that's
it.
so perfect.
You got to have everyone informed on what you're doing, you know?
That's so smart. So with this, did you mass produce this, or is this like one of a kind? Is this like an original?
These dropped I dropped them as like a 10-pack. I only ordered 10 of them. If you ordered one of the 10, you got lucky. If you didn't, sorry, wait until the next graphic, I guess.
Oh my goodness, how often does this come out?
I try to drop a board every 2 months. Just because with wood and all that stuff, you can never really gauge when it's gonna come in. Because during COVID, boards were freaking out of stock for over a year. Like I placed an order, I would have to wait for a year. Now the manufacturers are just starting to catch back up, and now you get them with like anywhere within a week up to 2 months.
Do you think COVID kind of helped your business a little bit? Because I heard it a little bit with the online, people couldn't go to stores. Do you think it kind of helped a little bit or not really?
I think both, honestly. So it kind of put a damper on it in terms of like manufacturing things, just because it slowed it down. But in terms of like bringing customers in, it definitely did, because a lot more people were online when they were just stuck in their houses, you know?
Right. And what about kids? Because you were kind of a kid when you started this. Are you going to kind of ever gear towards like younger?
So I actually do try to get some stuff out to like the kids that I do wrestling coaching. So if they're ever interested, I'll for sure like toss them t-shirts and stuff like that. And then there's a couple like younger kids that obviously they're not old enough to have jobs at the skate park. So like I'll give them stuff for just being good at skating, you know?
Well, do people want to get stuff for their kids, or do like a matching, like, the people do a lot of matching, like father-son type of?
That's always in the ballpark. I could always do that for sure.
That's really cool.
They would have to custom inquire, and then I could definitely take care of that.
So coaching wrestling as well?
Yeah.
How did you get into that?
I've wrestled ever since I was in 4th grade, I think, when I started, and I wrestled all the way through college my freshman year, and I just got injured.
Oh man, wow.
Got too much, and I was like, I like my body a little too much to be wrestling.
So did you go to college for design?
No, I actually went to college for nursing. And I stopped like right before I was going to apply into the nursing program just because I was too busy with business to stay up with school.
Wow, so
Yeah.
that's where you're at right now, or just business is just...
Business has been booming. Now that I've gotten a couple years under my belt, I can manage my time a little bit better, so I'm starting to go back to school. Just because it always helps to have a backup plan in case something doesn't work out.
And it's going to be nursing or it's going to be business?
Nursing, probably, just because you can't go wrong with those benefits.
Right on. Well, this is really, really cool. So do you skateboard then?
Yeah.
You're not too injured to do that?
I skate, I guess. Yeah, no, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I destroyed my shoulders. My legs are still fine.
Oh my goodness. No, that is really cool. So you kind of test out the product and see, so you know it's a good sturdy board.
Yeah, no, for sure. I definitely try to always make, especially with skateboards, like you have to make sure it's Canadian maple or like North American maple, just because the trees grow different since it's cold up there. So the wood's a lot, I guess, denser and it like snaps harder. So like if you were to use something that was like down south in like South America, it'd be a lot more like porous and break easier.
That's good to know. I never knew that. Thanks for teaching us about the woods. And so we need to go on your website to order because Christmas is coming up. So what better gift to give somebody than like these awesome clothes, especially like you could wear this at a rave. That is so cool because I work sometimes.
I wish I could show you what it looks like glowed. It's crazy. Like it glows so bright. It's probably like this fluorescent when it glows.
That is so cool. It just
sick.
like makes the whole room translucent. Well, thank you so much for coming on my show. And everybody, you've got to take a look. What's the website again?
Neighborhood Watch, nbrhoodwatch.com. Please. Thank you.
Hey, Bernard, how are you today?
I'm great, Sparkle. How are you?
Good. So tell us about yourself. You've done a lot of cool things, and you played for state for a while.
Right now, actually, I'm enjoying the retired life, but I've actually got back into the flow of things, and I'm doing financial literacy is one of the things. I'm coaching on the side.
Oh, you're still coaching, so you got the bug,
I
right?
definitely got the bug, of course. But mainly is the financial literacy is really what I'm into right now.
Wow. So you've had like this full career. So tell our viewers about it.
Let's see. Starting off, man. When I was a young kid, I wasn't born too far from here. Not Merced, California. I grew up in Winton, California. I was born in Spain. Military parents, 3 brothers, a sister, and cultivated my talents out there. Really, basically, I loved football. I loved basketball. Basketball was my #1 sport. I ran track as well. We all did pretty much all the sports. But those were the 3 when I finally got into high school. And then, you know, through working through high school, my older brother got a scholarship through track to go to Arizona State. He ran track there. And then after that, I got a scholarship to play football at Fresno State. So I went to Fresno State, played there for 4 years, and then got drafted to Chicago, the 78th pick in the 3rd round. And played 4 years there, signed free agency to Minnesota for another 4 years, so played all.
So what teams exactly? So we started with the Fresno State Bulldogs for one.
I get this question a lot.
Okay, so then after that, where'd you go from there?
So from Fresno State to Chicago Bears, and then from Chicago on to Minnesota.
To Minnesota.
Vikings.
Vikings. Okay. So that was it was a 4-year split for both the Cubs and the Vikings.
Or yes, it was 4 years for both. It was at pretty much almost to the date, almost.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's it like when you switch teams like that?
It was kind of hard, kind of tricky, but not too. I would say not outside the norm. You know, going into the business that it's a possibility. But I really didn't. I didn't really want to leave Chicago. I really loved the city. The city was great. The fans were great. I loved playing for the Bears. I wasn't a Bears fan growing up. I was a Niners fan growing up. So I actually hated the Bears growing up.
That's funny.
Yeah, I know, it's hilarious. My older brother was a Bears fan, so that's why it's kind of the sibling rivalry thing. But I love the scene. I love the team. I love the locker room. The guys are great. They were great. It just didn't work out business wise. So
wow.
I had to part ways.
Well, you know what I actually admire about you is that you came back to the Central Valley. I'm not.
Been around the world. No, Central Valley is not nice. Like I said, I was raised here. I wasn't born, but I was raised here. It's not bad. It's California, and it's easy living here in Fresno. And then I also had a daughter when I was in college here, so I was always coming back anyway during the off season, do my training, do the season where I need to. She would fly out with my mom for games if she could make it. The off season, I'd come back and do my training wherever I had to do my training, then come back and spend most of my time here so I could be with her. So when actually retiring, she was still being raised, she was still young, so I wanted to make sure I had time to be with her and spend with her and raise her, because kids during college and NFL career and being out of state, it's back for it. I missed a lot of time, so I wanted to make sure I had a lot of time, make up as enough as I can when I was done playing. So I came back to Fresno and then just kind of stuck here.
And then you got into finance. How did that even play into it? Why did you decide to do that?
So it's always been my nature to be like dealing with finance anyway. So and then the nature of the business of athletes and coming into money and being a millionaire and coming into millions of money, millions of dollars at such a young age, you kind of have to. You got to be on your game as far as you do it. Same thing with
Did you get help with
athletics.
that when you came into it early?
Oh yes, for sure, definitely.
That's good.
I was always a pinch pitcher anyway before going in, so it was a
with
little
all
bit
the kids
easier.
in your family, you had to like watch your own stuff.
You definitely have to
Some of my
scavenge around, yeah, for sure. But I think having a daughter in college also put my head on straight and I noticed I had focus. So it was definitely, I got a daughter, so it's not just providing for myself now at this point. I definitely got to, provide for someone else.
Think of that step ahead. That's really
so I was
smart.
definitely had, think of that and plan for that. And when I went in, having her totally changed my whole mindset really on life. And basically, I wanted to make sure that when I came out, like I said, that I had finances were straight. I didn't have to work, or I didn't want to be able to work.
Or you work part-time or work how you
if I was
wanted
going
to.
to work, it was going to be on my terms.
Right.
I'm going to be the boss. Like it's totally like that. Like, so now you're talking about the financial literacy. I've always been into it. I was actually thinking about doing my own nonprofit, and one of the factions in that was going to be some type of financial literacy class anyway. So I met someone.
That would be amazing. I support that. If you do that, let me know. Then I'm all about it.
So I met someone at a Fresno State game actually, and then they introduced me to this, and I just was like, oh, this kind of takes away everything that I would have to do on my own. I was like, I like the structure of it. It's easy. Everything's kind of paid for. And then I found out you could get my licenses, and I was like, oh, I'm sold. Really, when I found out that, I was like, my licenses? I was like, good. Because I'm always about self-empowerment anyway, so I want to be able to do everything myself.
What did you graduate with when you went to state?
Communications.
Well, you're a good communicator, so there you go.
Very
That which comes into play to what you do too.
It's so funny though. I started off in fashion design. I started off there, and then went and then went to criminology, and then went to communications. So it's funny how the world works.
Wow, that's so.
But I got in and then started. Actually, I want to say I saw the business structure of how easy it is and how just really transferable. You don't have the cost of doing business is not a lot. It's less than $100. So I mean, monthly is pretty much $25 really to do cost of business, and that's just for a little app. Everything's laid out for you. It's really, really easy. Really,
do you have
really
other people with
do.
their finances now?
For sure.
Wow.
For sure.
That's kind of cool that we can go to, because you have a different experience to bring to the table on that too. Because like this is how you structure a lot of wealth. This is how you structure little wealth. Because you've had both. You've had little wealth and a lot of wealth.
I've had little wealth. Little wealth is so funny. Scavenging around for mills. But no, yeah, I've had little wealth and I've had a lot of wealth. So, and now still in that that same category now, and being able to go out and help other people, and it's just really, that's what it is. I want to go out and instill knowledge. That's the only thing. You when you look back, it's like, all right, what was my imprint on life? What did I do? What did I do? Did I help anybody? Did I make a smile? Did I make anyone smile or anything like that? But my thing is always knowledge, and I'm always about self-empowerment. So anything I can use, anything I can do, anything I can use, and I feel financial literacy is the number one way for self-empowerment, because you take away financial problems, majority of people's problems, you see how much people smile when their financial problems are taken care of, or they got at least a plan to where they know where their finances are going.
Right. Okay. So where do we get a hold of you for that? Can you just help anybody that comes to you about it? Do they have to sign up for something? What do we do?
It's both ways.
The viewer that's watching right now.
The viewer that's watching, it works both ways, actually. We usually, typically, the way it works is we take on clients. We take on clients, and then after doing the work, the client actually likes what it is, likes what we're doing, likes the products that we're selling, servicing, and the investments that we're getting them involved in, and they turn around and become agents themselves and start building a business themselves. So it's really easy to do. Like I said, it's only like, it's $99 to sign up. It's not a lot.
Well, where can they get a hold of you for that? Because
yeah,
you might have some fandom here. Like we're just
Facebook,
to give you your
I'm
info
on
out.
Instagram, just my name, Bernard Berrian. Facebook, Instagram, same thing. I'm on
And you're
LinkedIn.
great about getting back to people, because I got a hold of you initially that way.
Yes,
so
exactly.
you are great at getting back to
I will get back
people.
to you. I will reach out. That is one thing about me for sure. But like I said, if you're looking for help, I'm willing to help.
But really be into it, guys, not some fan. Don't ask him about some play back in the day.
Can I get an autograph or something like that? No, that's fine too. That's totally fine. But even if you want to talk football too, we can talk that, because a lot of times people are asking me about football advice for their kids and stuff like that. So I'm always willing to.
Where are you coaching at?
I was at Roosevelt. I was at Buchanan before the last 2 years, and then just finished this last season with Roosevelt.
So are you helping Coco, or how does that work?
It's just was on the staff actually, and then when I can come out, when I can do it, I'm going out, helping out. Now I'm working out. Actually, gonna start something with Rodney Wright, another old Fresno State
Wow.
receiver. Actually, yeah, and help him out and do some
You're
things.
great at keeping in touch with everybody. Like, I love that.
We're thinking about starting a passing league up, so we're in talks about doing that. So we're gonna see where that goes.
So the nonprofit thing that you're thinking about doing, that's still in the play?
Oh no, that's definitely in the play. I got. Oh, well, the nonprofit, I don't know, to be honest with you.
You said you wanted to maybe do something in the financial.
I want to maybe in the financial, because this is kind of taking, what I'm doing now is kind of taking over that. It's kind of the same thing anyway. It's just now it's not a nonprofit or anything like that.
Right.
But
okay.
I feel like
But
I'm
you
still
might wanna
going
bring
out
it to
and still
kids.
helping people. Oh, I'm definitely bringing this to kids for sure,
Okay.
in some way, some fashion, for sure.
So what's this other nonprofit that you thought I was talking about? What else are you doing?
I thought you were talking about the financial literacy thing.
Oh,
That's
okay,
what it was,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, no, okay. So this all goes in. You do a lot of things, so
Yeah.
I'm sure that you only
Got a lot
telling you
of
like
time
a
on
very
my
small
hands.
portion.
I got a lot
like,
of time on my hands, so I try to be involved as much as I can without overdoing it.
Right.
Overstretching myself for sure.
So you kind of got involved with this business because you had a friend that was doing it, and then you're like, now it's kind of taken over. You said.
Yeah. Well, the real reason is just, people being taken advantage of is really the reason why. Finances is a really easy way to take advantage of people, because they're not taught this stuff. It's really easy. It's really easy stuff that you actually can learn. That's one of the biggest things, the misconceptions about finances is it's not hard at all. Most of the times, 4th, 5th, 6th grade level math is really all it takes. A lot of people are bamboozled with graphs and stacks of paper like this and books and big words, and there's only certain things you really need to look at and pay attention. Everything else is glitz and glamour. So.
Well, that's good, because if we get so many pages of everything, so to know that I don't have to look at everything makes me feel a lot better.
Still want to read as much as you can, because there's stuff in the fine print that does get a little tricky, but that's what we're there to help you out and exactly point those things out for you. Sure.
Wow, that's really cool that you got into that. That's such a switch from everything that you've done.
I know it is definitely. I never thought it would be something I'd be into or do actually when I was younger. I didn't. It was football, or actually, to be honest with you, it was basketball. I wanted to play basketball. I wanted to be an NBA player. Michael Jordan was my guy. I wanted to be him. Everything, I mimicked him.
So what was the
everything
deal on
athletically.
that?
It was pretty much my high school we went to. We were a football team. I know my basketball coach hated it too.
Man, so you think if you would have put that much effort into basketball, you could have been. It was one of those things where either or.
No, I put the effort in. It's just during the off season, I would say it was more geared towards football for sure.
Yeah.
Football took over. Football took precedence, so it's harder to get or advance in basketball. And
What do you
then
think
we
about
weren't
it
really
now,
that good
looking
in
back?
basketball in high school, so we
Yeah.
didn't get looked at. Our football team was great, so it was easier to get looked at. But looking back, I got to where I wanted to get to. Professional,
Right.
so and I'm
But-
sitting at where I want to sit at.
But I think you could have been like in,
It doesn't
in
matter.
basketball.
It could be one. I don't care the path or the journey. I've made it to the destination.
I love that. So where do you go to games now? Do you enjoy
Definitely.
them?
Definitely.
Do you go to the
games.
old teams or not?
So yes, I do actually. So even though I'm a Niner fan, I go to Niner games for sure. I went to the Niner Chicago game out in Chicago. I definitely went to that.
So what team were you on then? Were you confused?
I know I was confused. Everybody's like, "Who you rooting for?" And I definitely had my Chicago gear on for sure. I go to the Vikings games. I just went to two. I went to 2 Vikings games this year. Just went to one. I want to say 2 weeks ago. Right before their bye week. I went to that game as well. So I try to make it. I usually at least try to get to 1 game a season, and it's usually the alumni game. If I can make more, then boom, I'll take a trip.
So we can actually DM you if you want advice on finances.
DM, instant message. I'm on Facebook. I'm on what is it? Instagram. I would give my number out, but I think that'd
No,
be
you don't
crazy.
need to do all that. I gotta hold you perfectly fine on Insta,
yeah.
so we'll do all that.
Yeah.
But no, it would be really cool if you did bring something to kids, especially like, the ones that you coach and stuff, because I can see them taking it home to their parents. Because a lot of, as you've noticed probably in this business, a lot of older people don't even have a clue about finances. That you're probably like, how'd you go through life?
How'd you get through life? Exactly. Yeah. Nobody. They don't even show you how to balance a checkbook. It's kind of obsolete now, but
Right.
you know what I mean. But it's just little simple things like that. It's actually like, okay, now that you're given this paycheck, all right, what do I do with it now? Besides pay my bills, what do I really do with it to really earn some more money?
And then if I want to
and really
invest, where do I
save
put it?
something?
Yeah.
And where do I put it? So those are the things we're really reaching out and helping people with. It's all for free.
I absolutely love that. What's the name of the business that you work? Can you say that?
It's
or-
Primerica, yeah. It is
Okay.
Primerica, yeah.
So that's, and we just go to you, and then you also help people be their own boss too, right? Isn't there something
For sure,
like that?
yeah. That's really how it works. You're your own boss, just your mentor, helping you on the way. I'm just holding your hand and showing you how it's done so that you can duplicate it and do it for somebody else too. We're helping you build an actual brokerage.
And nobody
You're the broker.
even has to sign up. You could just DM them for the information, do a little sit down, or come to meet you when you do your things, and then take it from there.
It's very, very easy, very quick, very simple process. You just come, learn about it, present to you what we do, show you how we help people, and then you make a decision. Could be life-changing for sure.
Have you gotten any of these kids involved in it or not yet? Like any of the people that he graduated high school and was like, I kind of want to work with you.
Not high school yet. There's one kid at Buchanan. He's hit me up, and then I'm talking to another kid at Roosevelt. He's actually he seems like he's interested. So we'll see. Yeah, they're still young, so it's not necessarily doing the business part about it. That's really key for them at such a young age. In high school, it's really starting to invest and where you put your money at. That's key. Waiting to invest that's one of the things we teach. Waiting to invest, you will show you how much money you lose just by waiting.
Wow.
And how much money you could have earned or saved or accrued if
Throwing-
you would have just
throwing it
started
in
when you
something.
had, all right, I was told about it, I should start now. And then we play around with the calculator a lot.
That's really cool. What do you think now, looking back, about like college and everything? Because I'm sure you know a lot of shortcuts. Do you encourage these kids to go to college still? Or?
It's interesting, I would say. I would, just for the experience now, for the experience now, I love college. I do. I do college. I'd recommend college for the knowledge base too as well. But there's so many. The reason for college is to make a living. Somehow, some way, find out what it is you're knowledgeable in, and find that and translate that into somehow to make and earn an income. Now there's so many different avenues to make an income without having to actually go that route or just go trade school. Anything vocational school like that, there's so many different avenues to where you can make money and not have to go that route, or you can go that route and make money on the side. And that's the best part of what I like about what I'm doing. It's all part-time. So you can still go to school, you can still do your job until you feel comfortable enough or you've made enough money to supplement your income and make the full shift or stay where you're at. It's all up to you. That's what I like about it, is you are the boss.
Do you think you would have been pro without college or without going to state?
Yes. there was not. It's a confidence thing. It really is, and it starts when you're young. Any player that's ever made it, any player that you'll talk to, they'll always talk about belief. They never ever doubted themselves.
They always knew they were going to do it.
Always been a goal. I told my mother, I think I was 8 years old. First time I told her, I'm going to play NBA, NFL, one or the other. I'm going to be there. She's like, yeah, right. Okay, 8-year-old kid. She's not never.
Right.
Really. And it's the first in our family. Never. She wasn't really into well, not football. She was into sports. She was a track runner, and she loved softball. Softball was her sport. But it's just never. It's nothing that was ever heard of like that. Or especially in the time we grew up, there's nobody really that ever made it out. So when she heard that, she was, okay, all right. And then when it was able to actually bring that, it was fun. It was actually it was good to see the smile on their faces, seeing, and your parents are proud of you and everything like that. Family's proud of you. So it's life-changing, definitely life-changing experience for sure.
And you still go to state and support that. You said you still go to Bulldog games. How is that like now going there?
Be there this Saturday. Make sure you guys come out. It's great actually going now. They're doing great. I like watching the guys every now and then. I want to go out and see who's the next.
Do you know them? Do you go down and talk to them at all?
For sure, definitely go down. Especially now that they got a lot of the old coaches back there that were there when I was there. So it's a whole lot.
Oh,
easier
how
to
fun!
maneuver.
So you get to buddy it up and be like, hey,
yes.
What do they have to say about you? Did they say that they saw you?
They just talk about how much smaller I am now. That's all I get now. It's like, God, what's going on? I'm like, man, I've been out for a while. I'm like, I'm not playing no more. I don't have to break tackles anymore. It's a different life. But other than that, yeah, we just shoot the crap, talk about whatever's going on, and then we talk about this stuff that I'm doing now. And then you have mentioned some of the other coaches are doing the same thing.
Wow, so you got them into it too?
Or not getting them into it, just they've been doing.
You guys happen to all get into that?
To do it, yeah.
Wow, so sports and finance, I like it.
Kind of runs together a little.
Thank you so much for coming on my show, Bernard.
Appreciate you, Sparkle. Is everything sparkling?
Shane, I'm so excited to have you on finally.
I'm glad to be here.
I've known you for a very long time.
Yeah, it's been a while.
And you look great today in your suit.
Thank you.
So you have this really cool business that you started working for, that you're excited about, this company. So tell us a little bit about that and what you do.
So what we do is we focus on three main things with people. We focus on protection, we focus on growth, and then we focus on investments.
Oh, that's cool. So that's like a trifecta, like everything people need to know.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit like a financial literacy. You're getting people that don't know so much and that come with questions about, I have this, what should I do? So if I have like 500, 5,000, 50,000, I can come with you and say, I want this for my future. But I'm not sure.
Yeah, and that's actually what we do is we spend a lot of time talking with a person, because one of the things that we notice is that there's a severe lack of financial literacy. And so we spend a lot of time talking with them, figuring out what it is that they want for their life, what their plans and their goals and their dreams are, and then we come in and figure out how we can achieve that with them. Whether it's through, it could be through life insurance because they want to protect their assets, they want to protect their family, they want to protect their money growth. It could be through investments. It could be through income opportunities. It could be, there's a huge, we do retirement planning, estate planning. There's a huge spectrum, and there's very, very little education and very little training in that area.
Still, and why is that? Do you think we're ever going to have where we're teaching that in high school? Have you talked about that kind of like with your business at all?
Yeah, actually I have so my team's expanding. I have now somebody out in Connecticut, and she's extremely passionate about high school education, and she really wants to bring this information into the high schools. And that's one of the things. It's like in high school, I remember I had an economics class for one semester, and that was my financial education, and I didn't learn anything. And I've spent 2 years studying this, and I still haven't even scratched the surface on what's out there.
Wow, isn't that crazy? There's just so much to learn.
There is. It goes on. It's endless, and that's part of why I do what I do, is because then I can bring this information to people. I can teach people about it. once they know, because if I ask you, hey, what do you need? You're going to be like, oh, well, I think I need this, I think I need that, but I don't really know. But if I sit there and I teach you, here's what you can do, right? There's this
Options.
area.
People like,
yeah.
we like to know options.
Well, yeah, because nobody's the same. So I'm not going to have a one-size-fits-all illustration, or I'm not going to figure something out just that works with everybody, because it doesnn't work that way.
But I'm gonna even want just 3 options for me personally. I'll be like, what are some multiple options I can have that you see for me? If I do throw some things out there that I want.
And there's a lot that it depends on too, like your age. The younger you are, the more time you have. So we have to fit that timeline. But if say you're in your 60s, well, in your 60s, you don't have as much life left to live, right? So you have to think
kind of pay
differently.
less if you start early in a way.
Oh yeah, you can definitely.
And putting things away.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that we do too. Yeah, we do a lot of like financial. Part of our financial education is planning for your kids to go to college or to start a business or whatever. And so if you start early enough, you can pay a lot less.
It's less overwhelming.
Yeah. And not only that, you develop a habit of saving. And if you develop that habit early on, that's something that's going to serve you throughout your life.
Right. And then, I mean, Aaron Carter just died, and I heard that he didn't have any type of will. They're trying to figure out what to do with his house. He has a child. A girlfriend he didn't marry. So there's all kinds of problems in there. And I guess he was advised that he should have done all this. He didn't. 34, died. So
yeah, there's that too. There's that side of the financial industry's wills and trusts. And yeah, being in probate is tough, because that basically means the government is deciding what to do with your money.
Scary.
Yeah, exactly, right? So what we do is we give people the resources and the education to actually learn how to manage their money better, and then we offer them the products. If they want them, great. If not, that's cool too. But our main goal is the education side of it, and then we also teach a lot about entrepreneurship and how to like taxes are huge. If you're
right now, yeah, that's
right.
Nobody wants to think. Our minds just blow up like thinking about it.
Yeah. So. Nobody likes paying taxes, and if there's anybody out there that does like paying taxes, I will send you my CPA's information so you can pay mine.
Right.
And so we come up with ways where you can shelter your taxes. If the rich are doing it, then everybody can do it.
Wow.
It's not a law that only works for the rich. It's just that the rich,
they know what to do.
Well, they work really hard at making sure that the poor don't know. So that's one of the things. It's like, if you think about it, in school, why are schools not teaching this information? And I can go into conspiracies and about that and everything and say, oh, it's the corporate, or oh, it's the government, or whatever. But it doesn't matter. The point is that the rich know this stuff because they're hiring their financial advisors. And
exactly.
But what my company does is we work for free. We don't charge a broker fee. And we're a dealer broker, so we work with over 187 companies, I think, last I checked.
So is it the companies that kind of pay you in the end, in the long run?
So
in a way.
Yeah, I work on the marketing side of it. So I market their products by giving education, teaching people about it, and once they know, then they're more likely to purchase something. They want, I want this product.
We just have to figure out what product is best for us and what
exactly.
company.
And by having 187 companies that we work with, we can kind of tailor suit the product for them.
See, that's what I'm saying about options. That's the kind of options we need.
And that's what our goal is. And then from there, we also offer income opportunities where people can actually learn to do what I do as well. And they can actually start their own business, which is a huge way of saving in taxes, because at that point, when you're working your business, you've got tax write-offs. Right, and a lot of people don't think about that.
And you can do it for a little bit of time. You don't have to put as much time. It doesn't have to be someone's full-time job.
No, actually, there's a lot of people who only work maybe 4 hours a week doing this.
And then they could make everything a tax write-off? That's a great, that right there.
It's money. Like, that's what I was saying. I have people in Connecticut, I have people in New Jersey, and then someone in Texas, and I'm working on Oregon right now. And what's really cool is I can actually travel out to those locations and work with them. And that is now a tax write-off. And what's really cool, I have somebody in Nevada I'm working with too.
So you've been traveling?
Oh yeah.
How fun. What a fun job.
Oh yeah, it's great. I'm actually going to Vegas in January again for another convention, which is going to be fun. But I actually built a team in Vegas, and the main guy there, his family is all Hawaiian, and I'm like, or Polynesian technically, and so I'm excited about that because he's actually going to build in Vegas. He's going to build a Polynesian farmers market, and so he's going to have all of that there. It's going to be pretty cool. But we're also developing his team out there, and then of course our company funds us. You have to qualify, of course, but they fund us for trips like Hawaii. We're going to be going to Cabo pretty soon.
But that's if you're working more than 4 hours a week, I imagine.
Not necessarily. It depends on how you work. Yeah. So that's what's cool about it is there's a lot of people who are making $5,000 to $10,000 a month working 46 hours a week. It all depends on what you do, and it really what it comes down to is so there's two main things that you have to have in order to make money. Number one is time. People, you can't get your time back, right? You trade your time for money.
That's the number one thing.
That's a job.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, the other one is your mindset. And so depending on how you think determines on how much money you're going to make. And so if you think about like people who win the lottery and they've got millions of dollars and then all of a sudden a few years later they're bankrupt. Well, why is that? So the reason I believe is because their mindset isn't there. They're not at this level with their mindset. So I've heard it said a lot of times that you'll make whatever you feel like you deserve. And if you're not putting the effort in, if you're not putting the work in, if you're not developing yourself, because business growth is more about self-development than it is about actually focusing on your business. And so we have a lot of mindset training that helps with that too.
And you said there's a lot of like entrepreneurship opportunities, and I'm thinking, when you say you could put this amount of time and whatever, I would have loved to have gotten involved in something like this in college, because that's where you don't have a lot of time. I was good at sales. It would have been nice to have had a team to kind of like help me with like things that I was already good at and make that grow and teach me all these things. What do you guys do with college students? Is that something that you ever gear towards, or not really?
We actually work with college students. My executive marketing director, that she's kind of my mentor, she started when she was 19 years old when she got in the industry. And so it really depends.
Because you're making money and getting an education at the same time, because you're getting that financial education you're not getting anywhere
financial
else.
Education, you're getting mindset training, because it's hard. It's not like any sales business. If you've ever been in any kind of sales business, it can be difficult. You get a lot of rejection.
Yeah, you have to be really okay with a million no's.
Yeah, and in fact, that's one of the things that we say is we're looking for the no. We want the next no. So if I get that no, then I've succeeded because I've now got that no, so now I can move on to the next and move on to the next. And the more no's I get means that eventually I'm going to get a yes. So it's called the law of large numbers. And
that really is true, though.
Yeah, you chase after those no's and eventually somebody's going to say yes. And it's going to be like, dang it, they said yes. But at the same time, hey, the yes was a payday. So, that's the thing is you really want to develop yourself. Like this has really, really developed me as a person. I've completely, when I first started this business, I had a hard time just talking to somebody, or like they were having me do a script in one of the trainings. They're like, oh, let's practice this script, right? Real generic, real basic script, easy. All I had to do was sit there and read it. And I got so anxious and stressed out because there were people watching me, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. Yeah, very much in my head. And now I've learned to be more present. One of the things, like when I was doing a presentation with a client, I'm like trying to teach them this stuff. I was so focused on the presentation, I wasn't even paying attention to the client. And so I was bombing, I was doing bad. And then once I started realizing the presentation doesn't matter so much as me getting to know them, what matters to them, because I know my stuff. I've studied it, I put the hours in, so I know my stuff. And I was so focused on showing them my stuff and showing off what I could do and how much I knew and how smart I was, that I wasn't paying attention to what they wanted and what they needed and what mattered to them. And once I started to learn what mattered to them, that's when I started doing well. And that's when, you know, I started caring more about the person behind the person rather than about the information. And it's just like whenever you're going to give information to somebody, if you sit there and you have lists and you go this and then this and then this and then this, it's going to be boring, right?
Yeah, and
But
then
if-
I hear we only have such a small attention span too.
Oh yeah, and well,
So
and that, and
there's
I think
that.
they said 95% of your thoughts are the same every day. So there's
Oh
only
my
that 5% that you have wiggle room in to actually learn something.
Wow.
So yeah, and there's so much that we can do with that too, because like for instance, just speaking out goals. We're very big on setting goals and working towards your goals. Like I've heard it said, what is it? A goal without a plan is just a wish, and
Right.
we don't do wishful thinking. So, so yeah, it just got to work towards your goals, make a plan, take it step by step until you reach it.
So I don't want to get too personal, but at the same time, you know, everyone likes to know something. But I've seen you grow a lot too as a person since you've been here and everything you're doing. And you know, we live life, things happen. You know, we have kids, divorces, all this stuff. So I know you've in your life have had financial setbacks. You've done jobs you weren't happy with because that
Oh,
was.
man.
I saw you do that with those. So how, with everything that you learned, which is why I think you bring so much to this, because you have the experience, you've learned so much. What can you tell people about some of the stuff you've learned?
One of the things is you got to follow your passion. You've got to follow your passion because that's the only thing that is going to get you through the hardest times. And you have to go through those hard times. So many people spend so much time trying to avoid the difficulties in life that
Just
are
like quitting a job. It's so stressful to quit a job that we know we're not happy in and we're
Yeah,
not going to
well,
stay in. But it's like a delay. It's like you're like, I'll quit it next month, after this, after I have to pay this.
Yeah, well, but there's a couple things to that.
Okay.
Quitting a job can be stressful because you have to make sure that you've got your bills paid, you know, all of that.
Right.
But with a job, if it's not what is inspiring you, then you need to find something that does inspire you. And the way I like to think of it is you can work your full-time job and then you work part-time on something that's going to become your side hustle, right?
Right, right.
And then your side hustle starts to grow. And because you're passionate about it, it's probably going to grow a lot. And then your side hustle slowly will start making more and more money. First, you might lose money. Then you start making more and more money. And then eventually, your side hustle will become your main hustle, and that's when you quit your job. And then the other thing about working a job is, and this is why I've been an entrepreneur pretty much my whole life. I started, straight out of high school, I started trying to run businesses. And yeah, every time I get interested in some sort of hobby, I'm like, how can I make this a business? How can I make money off this? And I've done it with pretty much everything because I've worked in just about every industry. Like, you know, I've done photography, I've done filmmaking, I ran a paintball field.
I ran about that one. That's cool.
Yeah, it was fun. 3 years I ran it, and it was actually finally starting to make money. And then all of a sudden, Airsoft came in and crushed us. And then I made a decal business. I've done graphic design. What else? I've done so much. And then different jobs I've worked. I've worked at the zoo. I've worked in a call center. I've done so many different industries. I worked for Channel 26 news station. Literally everything you can think of, and I've probably done it. I even blew insulation in attics. That was probably one of the worst jobs I ever had.
I sold vacuum cleaners door to door, so I'm with you
that's
on
a bad
terrible.
one too. Yeah. Oh man, that's rough. Any kind of door-to-door sales is rough.
That was very short-lived, by the way.
I did do door knocking for a window company trying to set appointments. So I was an appointment setter for a window company. But I only did that for about 2 weeks. But yeah, no, a job can drain the life out of you. And so you want to find that thing that puts that life back in. And then the other thing about a job that I really don't like is you're working for somebody else's dream, because that business owner, they're the ones who, they're the ones whose dream you're working for. You're going in and you're trading your time to grow their business. And for me, I'd much rather trade my time to grow my business that's going to help me get closer to my dreams and my goals than for me to put my time in and grow somebody else's
Right.
business for their dreams and their goals. So it's one of those things. It's like and that's part of what's happening right now. Ever since COVID, there's been a huge shift from people working jobs to going and starting their own business. And that's one of the things that we do. See, I've failed at a lot of businesses. Most of my businesses were not successful. I didn't make money. I barely made ends meet sometimes. Went through, so to get a little more personal, I started a production company with my best friend, and he had just sold his business. He had an air vending business, so where you fill the tires up. He ran a business. He had like 80 machines or something like that. He had just sold it, and he was going to invest in our film company. And I had already put 30 grand into it, and he was going to sell his business and put another 30 grand, and that's how we were going to fund our equipment, fund our startup and everything. Well, I'd already bought 30 grand worth of equipment, and he was on a trip back from signing the papers.
You tell me.
And he got in a car accident and passed away. And that was one of the things, I think that's one of the things that helped me get into the financial industry, actually, is because what happened was his family was devastated, obviously.
And you're not going to go there and say, hey, he was going to give me 30 grand. You can't.
Yeah,
you can't. I mean,
there's
like,
no
you
way I
can't
was
do
going to
that.
take that money, whether I was entitled to it or not.
No, I totally understand. That's
And
a terrible
so,
story.
yeah, I mean, his wife needed it to go back to school, which she did. And she's doing great now. And I'm super happy for her. And her son, I think he's a professional gambler last time I heard, playing Texas Hold'em.
Well, maybe you would have done better with that money.
Well, no, what's funny is his dad and him always played Texas Hold'em. They always had this family card night, and now he's doing that professionally. So I was like, hey, chase your passion. You can make a career out of anything. So, but yeah, and that's kind of one of the things, like I saw that and I was like, man, if this guy had life insurance, his family would have been set. And
Wow, so you learned a few lessons in
Oh,
that.
yeah,
That's
big time.
crazy.
Yeah, and,
Wow.
and that's one of the things that got me interested in the financial industry. And I was like, you know what? I need this stuff. If that happened to me, I'd be leaving my kids with nothing. You know, how good, and right around that time, because my business failed so bad, I ended up losing my house. It was 2008. So when the market tanked, I was upside down on my mortgage. And yeah, I lost my house, had to file bankruptcy. And it was, really a dark time for me, and it took a lot to get out of that.
And now you're working in finance and you're thriving.
Yeah.
And you're traveling. You're getting paid to travel.
Yes, I am, well, paid to travel depends on what business I do, but at least I can write it all off.
Yeah, this is really, but it's a true. I'm glad you shared this because it's a really true success story, and it shows people what you can do. And like I said, I wish that would have been really good when instead of when I graduated college selling vacuum cleaners, or if someone would have said, "Hey, come into this," that would have been a really great time for me to do that.
Well, and honestly, it's never a bad time to get into it.
Because like you said, you can always just put a little bit of time. And I think that was such a key thing to tell people that. And I love how you said you can still work that job you're not happy about, but do what you're passionate about at this.
Yeah, and then the other thing about this business that I love is that it can actually fund your dreams too, because you can work this part-time from anywhere too. That's one of the reasons we blew up during the Zoom era during COVID. It's because suddenly you couldn't meet in person anymore, which our company primarily met in person. Then all of a sudden, everybody switched to Zoom, and all of a sudden, now I can develop a team in other states. Where
I
before,
love that.
you could
That
only
is
work
so
locally.
cool.
And so, yeah, COVID actually benefited our company, and we grew a lot because of it. And so now it's like completely different. You can work from home. While we do go out to meet in person from time to time, because one, we need the human connection, but two, there's nothing that beats person-to-person training. The energy you get is off the charts, especially, I mean, we had a convention in Vegas and there was like, I think 15,000 people there. And it was insane. Like, it was the MGM Grand and it was packed full of people and it was so much fun. I was sitting there thinking, hey, I recognize this from all the MMA fights or boxing matches or whatever. And I'm like, I'm sitting in the MGM Grand and this is my business filling this place. You know, so it was really cool to get that energy, and then this training we get from some of the greatest speakers, like Ed Milet's one of the big speakers. He actually works for our company too, but that's one of his like.
Where can we go when we want to get a hold of you? I know you're good and you give us financial advice for free. We could just come and pick your brain. Where's the best place to get a hold of you right now?
Right now, mostly through social media.
So we're just to give us a
Facebook, Instagram.
So it's Shane Foster. You have 1 million Instagrams, by the way.
I know, it's because I still have my decal business.
So where do you want us to get a hold of you?
Shane Foster 6 on Instagram.
Okay.
That's probably the easiest one. And then Facebook, if you just look for Shane Foster and you see this face. Yeah, that's how you'll find me.
Thank you so much for coming on my show. And I'm going to have you back too because there's so much. We just touched the surface. I know we just scratched the surface.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah, I could go on for hours.
Thank you so much for coming on, Shane.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Felt right in the moment, felt right in the summertime. It felt right drinking cherry wine with you. I just wanted to own it, just wanted to take the time, learn all the things that I could about you. Now it's such a mess here, oh, we are just stressed here. Used to be so easy with you. Now I must confess here, oh, I must confess, dear, don't think I'm in love with you. Winter is coming and I don't know what to do, and there's no more use in running, no more running to you. And I don't want your loving, I don't want to be just friends, knowing all this time we were playing pretend.
It's a mystery.